following may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Autopsy concludes ex-convict Kareen Ramlal died of blunt force trauma. An autopsy done on the body of convict Kareen Ramlal reveals that she was bludgeoned to death, almost in the same manner that her husband Anil Jadoo met his demise. Ramlal's only daughter, Karine Jadoo, 20, identified her body at the Forensic Science Center in St. James yesterday. Sources said the cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. Meanwhile, the man wanted in connection with the homicide is still on the run. The man had claimed that Ramlal visited him and then took a taxi afterwards to get back to her Passia Tunapuna home. However, Ramlal never made it home. Relatives said Ramlal was trying to put her life back together after being released from prison last December, having served a prison sentence for her husband's homicide. Ramlal and her 67-year-old mother Ramday and their friend Giwain Pardasi, 56, pleaded guilty to felony in May 2006. An autopsy done on Anil's body revealed he died of blunt force trauma to his head. Pardasi had been paid $800 by Ramlal and her mother to erase Anil. First, they fed him stewed goat laced with linnet poison, and when he did not finish the goat because it was not tasting good, Pardasi waited for him to go to sleep before hitting him on the head with a piece of wood. Region 3 homicide investigators are continuing investigations into Ramlal's homicide. Belmont taxi driver erased by passenger. A Belmont taxi driver was erased by a man pretending to be a passenger on Tuesday night. Rasan Richardson of Leotard Road, Gonzales, was driving his taxi when a man in the front passenger seat instructed him to stop. When Richardson stopped the vehicle, the passenger opened fire on him, hitting him in the head before getting out of the vehicle and making his escape. Officers of the Port of Spain Task Force visited the scene with Belmont police. Homicide detectives also visited the scene with a district medical officer who declared Richardson dead. Investigations are ongoing. Relatives demand justice for cyclist who died in San Fernando Bypass accident. The family of Brandon Ramdas believes he was robbed after suffering fatal injuries in an accident along the San Fernando Bypass road on Sunday night. Ramdas, 26, also known as Gasman of Taruba Road, Marabella, died at the scene but was only identified the following day. His relatives said yesterday he was returning home after buying KFC in Marabella when the accident occurred. A police report said that at around 10:30 p.m., a 40-year-old motorist of Panko Lane, San Fernando, was proceeding north along the bypass when he overtook a vehicle near the old drive-in cinema in Marabella and collided with the cyclist. Ramdas was thrown off the bicycle on impact. He had no identification on him. Ramdas's relatives began searching and contacting his friends when he did not return home. His employer also got worried when he did not show up for work, particularly since Ramdas worked on Sunday and had not yet submitted the $3,300 in sales. He was a salesman and driver with Sauce Gas Limited. Ramdas's aunt-in-law, Reshma, said that Ramdas's employer went to the police station around midday on Monday to inquire whether he had been arrested. Instead, he was informed that Ramdas had died in the accident. However, Ramdas's uncle, Sonny, said when he went to the San Fernando mortuary to identify his body, only $102 was found in the rear pocket of his pants. Hurt by this egregious act, Sonny said, "When somebody crash out in pain and you're going to dig into somebody's pocket, that is not nice. Now I lost my nephew. His boss lost his whole sales, gone. That is money to pay for gas." Claiming that the driver had to be driving way beyond the speed limit, Sonny said, "No 40-kilometer causing that. He had to be speeding. I am driver too. He had to be going bat out of hell." Describing Ramdas as a law-abiding, quiet and nice person, they called for justice. They said he had borrowed the bicycle from a neighbor. Expressing condolences to the family on their Facebook page, Gas Source Limited stated, "Your sudden death has touched our lives and heart. The way you have inspired us has touched us even more. We were lucky to have you as an employee, colleague, and friend. Replacing you is impossible. You are hardworking, trustworthy, dedicated, and respectful, and a great pillar in this business. You are one of the best LPG salesmen in this country. We will miss you, Brandon Ramdas." The driver was questioned and released pending further investigations. Corporal Simon of the Marabella Police Station is investigating. Family of 8 homeless after fire destroys home in Pleasantville. In a matter of minutes, the lives of 8 family members, including 3 children, turned into a nightmare after a fire destroyed their Pleasantville home on Monday night. Left with just the clothes on their backs, Kathy Ann Telesford, 31, and her relatives are now asking for a temporary place to live and help to rebuild their lives and home. Telesford, 31, a part-time URP worker, was at her Coconut Boulevard home with her husband, a construction worker, their 2 children, her nephew, 2 brothers, 64-year-old mother, and her mother's companion when the fire broke out shortly before 10 p.m. Telesford's sister, Shelly Ann, said her sister told her that she was in the kitchen with her children when her husband began smelling something burning and asked whether she was cooking. She told him she wasn't cooking and there was nothing burning in the kitchen. By the time Darius got up from the front room and came out to see what's going on, he saw smoke coming out from one of the bedrooms, and by the time he kicked open the bedroom door, the whole place was on fire, Shelly Ann said. Meanwhile, Shelly Ann, who lives only a few houses away, said a neighbor had already alerted her that something was happening at her sister's house. "When I came, I saw my sister's house on fire, and I bawled out to my children, and my children run out, and we running with the hose while her husband throwing water to try to out the fire in the middle room, which is a kid's room," Shelly Ann said. "The more water we throw is just more blaze we get, and the fire was blazing so much that it just escalated, and that was it. We tried to run in to see if we could salvage anything, but nothing we could not salvage because of the blaze of the fire and the smoke." She said the T&T fire service went on the wrong road, and by the time they arrived, the entire house was already engulfed. She said the children's books, uniforms, and computer devices were destroyed in the blaze. Telesford's 2 children are 7 and 10 years old, while her nephew is 7. While the cause of the blaze is unknown, she said about 2 hours before the fire, there was a power outage in the area, which damaged her television. Shelly Ann said they were advised that the integrity of her sister's house was badly damaged, and the structure will have to be demolished and rebuilt. "For now, we need assistance for Kathy Ann and her family to get somewhere to live. I would really appreciate if they could get some assistance," she pleaded. She thanked Councillor Robert Paris and other persons who visited and promised to assist her relatives. Anyone willing to assist the family can contact 317-1270 or 292-5186. Prison officer's vehicle found abandoned in bushes hours after being reported stolen. Police found a prison officer's vehicle abandoned in some bushes less than 24 hours after he reported it stolen from his yard in Barrackpore. Prison officer Bisam Bisasar, 31, had secured his grey Mazda BT50 around 8 p.m. on Sunday. But on Monday morning around 8 o'clock, he discovered that his van, valued at $60,000, was missing, as well as a $4,000 weed trimmer, a $350 mist blower, a $600 grinder, and a $1,500 water pump, which he kept under his house. Reports are that between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m., the vehicle was recovered by the Barrackpore police during an exercise. It is reported that police officers went to the Plantanite Trace Barrackpore, where they found the prison officer's Mazda in some bushes. Police report that the vehicle was intact and taken to the police station. No arrests were made. The officers also completed 10 stop and search forms during the exercise, which was incident-free. Poultry farmer dies after allegedly ingesting chemical substance he mistook for water. Police report that a poultry farmer has died after accidentally ingesting a chemical at his farm which he mistook for water. It is reported that Gerald Badu, 44, of Pinal Rock Road, Bastair Road, Moruga, returned home from his farm where he rears 8,600 chickens shortly before 2 p.m. on Saturday. Badu told his wife Tricia that he was not feeling well and she gave him a glass of cola. Badu then fell asleep on the couch in the living room. However, around 6 p.m., he started complaining of stomach pains and began vomiting. He was given a Gravol tablet. Reports are that around 1 a.m., the vomiting worsened and Badu had also developed diarrhea. Later that morning, at around 7 o'clock, while his wife was speaking to the family doctor on the phone, Badu reportedly told her to tell the doctor that while on his farm he picked up a bottle thinking it was water and drank some of it, but then realized it was a chemical substance. The family doctor later visited the home and ordered that he be taken immediately to the Princesstown District Health Facility. While on the way to the health facility, in his wife's vehicle, Badu stopped responding near Indian Walk Village, Moruga. The police service confirmed that 10 minutes after Badu arrived at the health facility, a doctor pronounced him dead. An autopsy is expected to be conducted this week. Investigations are ongoing. Two men drowned in separate incidents at Maracas and Tyrico beaches. Two men are suspected to have drowned at beaches in Maracas and Tyrico on Sunday. The victims were identified as Joshua Surratt, 24, of Maracas St. Joseph, and David Kahn, a citizen of the United States. In the first incident, at around 3:30 p.m., Kahn was swimming at the Maracas beach when he encountered difficulties and disappeared under the waves. His body resurfaced 2 hours later, and 3 men brought it to shore. Attempts at resuscitation proved futile. A district medical officer examined the body and ordered it removed to the mortuary. In the second incident at around 6 p.m., Surratt was swimming at Tyrico Bay, Maracas, when he got into difficulties and went under the waves. Beachgoers observed Surratt having difficulties and pulled him out of the water. A visiting doctor from the United States who was on the beach performed CPR on him. Surratt was taken to the Port of Spain General Hospital, where he was pronounced dead by medical personnel at 7:42 p.m. Autopsies are expected to be done on both bodies this week. Maracas police are continuing investigations into both incidents. Anti-Kidnapping Unit issues warning to parents. The Anti-Kidnapping Unit, AKU, is noting an alarming trend after recording a total of 154 missing children since the start of the year. According to Assistant Superintendent Daryl Ramdas, the majority of these children have run away from their homes, and the reasons for this include parents or guardians disciplining their children, problems within the homes, and grooming by adults.